7th October 2025. It is Edexcel Physics, Unit number 1, and the today's class topic is collision and momentum. We started this question in the last class, so first we are completing this question. The question is, I think, very simple. The question is, this is a machine, and this machine is throwing balls in this direction. So obviously, before throwing the ball, it is given that the machine is stationary. Ball is not thrown, so ball is stationary and machine is also stationary. So before launching ball, the total momentum is zero. And what after momentum? What is after momentum? So the momentum after throwing ball is, you have to calculate velocity of machine. Mass of the ball is 0.056. It is after throwing. The mass of the ball is 0.056 and the speed of the ball is given. It is 4.5. This is momentum for ball. And in the last class we have discussed, when the ball moved forward, then there is a recoil in the machine. So machine moves backward. And if they are moving in backward direction, so its momentum will be negative. The mass of machine is 2.9 kg and we are calculating its velocity. Okay, beta? Why I am using minus? Sir, minus means ball moving forward and machine moving backward according to Newton action reaction force. So if I shift this number on the other side, then it becomes 2.9 into V. It is momentum of machine. It is equal to momentum of ball. So simply I can say, when you fire a bullet from a gun, then bullet moves forward, gun recoils backward, and their momentums are equal to conserve momentum. In the same way, when the ball is thrown forward, so the machine will move backward, but their momentum will be same. So simply momentum of machine and momentum of ball are same, and now I am calculating velocity of machine. So velocity of machine will be 0.056 into 4.8 divided by 2.9, and if you are using calculator then answer me, otherwise we will start new question. 0.087. Okay, and all the given numbers are in two significant figure: 4.5 2SF, 0.056 2SF, 2.9 2SF. So answer is also in 2SF, two significant figures. So this question is very simple. I think it is IGCSE standard question. And now this sheet is going to be completed, and the last question of this sheet is this. The question is, अस्सलाम वालेकुम बेटा बनी। अच्छा बेटा, हमारा टॉपिक मोमेंटम का चल रहा था, वही टॉपिक अभी हम आपको पढ़ा रहे हैं, मोमेंटम। ठीक है, जिसमें कोलिजन होता है, और जो आपकी कल वाली क्लास बेटा मिस हो गई है, मैं भी आपको रिकॉर्डिंग शेयर करूंगा। ठीक है बेटा। अच्छा, आपने यकीनन ये गेम देखा होगा कि इन अ गेम ऑफ स्किटल वी थ्रो अ बॉल and this ball knock them over. These are skittles, in diagram you can see, and when we throw ball then skittles knock them. Acha ji, then this is a diagram, this is a graph, The first part is very very simple. The question is when the ball hitting the skittle, then it's their velocity change. And when the velocity change, then obviously there is acceleration. You are given velocity time graph and they are asking calculate acceleration. So this question is so simple, I am not interested to solve completely, but only I am writing the coordinates to calculate gradient, and gradient means it will be acceleration. So if I ask what is the value of this point, then you can see its x coordinate is 28, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. X coordinate is 28 second and the velocity is 1.0. So this point is very easy to read, as well as I think this point is very easy to read. Its x coordinate is 40 and its y coordinate, its y coordinate is 2.2. Y coordinate is 2.2. Okay, so you know mathematics, if this is x1 y1, this is x2 y2, and if you calculate gradient of the line y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, then it will give you the value of acceleration. And such a simple question we should not solve. And now there is another question. In this question, in this question, when the ball hits the skittle, you have to apply Newton's second law and Newton's third law. So I am going to explain this part, but first we are solving this mathematical part. In this mathematical part, when the ball is thrown again, the collides with another stationary skittle. Skittle is stationary. During the collision, horizontal velocity of ball changes from 7.2 to 1.6, and we have to calculate mass of the ball. Consider mass of the ball is m. Its velocity before collision is 7.2. Before collision is 7.2 and after collision it is 1.6. You know momentum is the product of mass into velocity. Mass is unknown, mass is unknown. Before collision velocity is 7.2, after collision velocity is 1.6, plus mass of skittle is given, but before collision skittle is stationary, so momentum is 0. Before hitting, skittle is stationary, so momentum is 0. But after hitting, after collision, you can see the skittle is moving and its velocity is 3.1. Mass is 1.4, this is the mass, and velocity is 3.1. Okay, and now we have to calculate m. So this m should be shifted on the other side. This is plus, it converts into minus, is equal to 1.4 into 3.1, and now you know 7.2 minus 1.6, then calculate m and give me the answer of m. It is very simple question. Give it a Simra, what is the answer? If you are not telling me, then 0.77, and all the numbers are in 2SF, so we should stop at 2SF, and it was 776, then I should round off to 78. and the mass of the ball is in kg. So this question is also very simple. But you know, in Edexcel physics, there is a star question, and you know this star question in Edexcel physics, it is known as indicative question. And in this type of indicative question, we have to explain, we have to express our knowledge in English, and same kind of question they ask, but situation usually they change. In the last class when I taught Banin and Uswa, sorry, Banin and Manahil, then we discussed this question. In this question, you can see this is pendulum B, it is stationary, and this is pendulum A, which is moving, and you have to apply Newton laws of motion. And we have discussed this question when ball A strikes on ball B, then ball B, which is at rest, ball B is at rest, but when it experiences force exerted by A, then according to first law of motion, Newton first law of motion, ball B starts motion. Otherwise, ball B was at rest. But when ball A hits ball B, then ball B starts motion. And according to Newton's second law of motion, ball B accelerates. Ball B accelerates. And when ball B accelerates, as ball B has experienced a force, or we can say ball A exerted force on B, it is action. Then according to Newton's third law of motion, ball B exerts a backward force on A. That is why A decelerates and A come to rest. A come to rest. So we have discussed this question with Manahil. Manahil, is it we have discussed this question? Yes or no? As well as I have sent this video to Manahil. Yes, I have sent this video to Manahil, but I think Manahil did not watch it. हाँ बेटा, हाँ बेटा. Okay, 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 okay. But right now I am interested to show this video, but I think this video is on your screen or the screen is blank, Manahil? Okay, okay. But why not running? But video not running. Now running, now running. This is very interesting video in watching. You can see when two balls hitting, and now three balls hitting. So you should watch this video after my class. Right now, I am back, and when I am back, then in the last class we have discussed this question, and the same kind of question we are going to discuss from Simra sheet. But I am interested to show you the answer marking scheme of this question in proper wording, and the marking scheme is here. Marking scheme is here. When sphere A applies a force to sphere B on impact, it is action, and according to third law of motion, sphere B will apply an equal and opposite force on sphere A. This force opposite, yes, हाँ बेटा बनाए. In this I'm marking scheme, I am finding no word of Newton first law, so ignore Newton first law because we should give weightage to the marking scheme. Okay, beta. Do not my answer. Focus on marking scheme. So they are not writing Newton first law, so ignore it. When sphere A hitting on sphere B, then it is acting action force. Then sphere B exert on sphere A reaction force. So it is according to Newton third law. And now sphere B accelerates, but sphere A decelerates. Sphere A accelerate forward and sphere A decelerate. Okay, and you know force is equal to rate of change of momentum. So you should memorize or you should keep in mind these wording कि अगर दो ऑब्जेक्ट एक दूसरे से कोलिजन कर रहे हैं तो आपने आंसर को इस तरह से लिखना है, ठीक है ना? तो इट इज जस्ट अ प्रैक्टिस एंड नाउ आई एम मूविंग बैक टू द सिमरा शीट. सिमरा शीट में हम इस जगह देते हैं एंड आई होप कि आप लोग मुझे इसका भी आंसर लिखने में हेल्प करेंगे. ये बताइए, व्हेन द बॉल hitting skittle, then the ball exerting a force on skittle. Okay, I am writing the answer and it is a 6 mark question. When, write the answer beta, when ball strikes on skittle, ball exerts a force on skittle, and obviously this force is action. According to Newton third law, skittle will exert a reaction force equal in magnitude, opposite in direction. So I have used the term Newton third law and connecting this law with this collision. When the ball is striking skittle, ball exert a force on skittle, it is action force, and according to Newton third law, skittle will exert a reaction force, and this reaction force equal in magnitude, opposite in direction. So I have used third law and now I am going to use second law. So what is second law? Second law is according to Newton second law, skittle accelerates and the ball decelerates and come to rest. You know when ball strikes skittle, then skittle fall down and ball usually come to rest, or it may fall into the hole as well. But right now I am connecting in this way, the ball is decelerate because the ball has hit the skittle, skittle accelerate and the ball decelerate. उसकी स्पीड तो कम हो ही जाएगी, ठीक है जनाब. ये न्यूटन सेकंड लॉ लगा दिया और न्यूटन सेकंड लॉ लगाने के बाद अभी लास्ट क्वेश्चन में जो हमने एक और वर्डिंग सीखी है कि फोर्स is the rate of change of momentum. When the two objects collides, their momentum change and the force is the rate of change of momentum. So I think you can write this kind of answer yourself. सिमरा बेटा आप खुद से लिख सकती हैं इस तरह की बातें ना, कि कभी भी दो बॉडीज टकराएंगी तो अब आपको ये वाली कहानी लिखनी है and this story I have written in my words, but I think you can write this story in your own words. सिमरा बेटा, इज इट ओके? ठीक है जी। अच्छा बेटा, सिमरा एंड अब्दुल्ला, योर शीट हैव कंप्लीटेड, एंड नाउ your sheet is completed, but if you have exam tomorrow, then now it is your choice. If you have any other work, कुछ और आपको पढ़ना हो तो आप अपनी मर्जी से पढ़ सकते हैं, ठीक है। और अगर क्लास कंटिन्यू करना चाहें तो क्लास कंटिन्यू कर लें, क्योंकि टॉपिक वही चल रहा है, कोलिजन कोलिजन कोलिजन, तो ये आपको हेल्प ही करेगा, ठीक है। लेकिन जो क्वेश्चन मैं मनाहिल को करा चुका हूँ, मैं वो क्वेश्चन अभी नहीं करूँगा। ये सारे क्वेश्चन मैंने मनाहिल को लास्ट क्लास में करवाए हैं। अच्छा जी, नाउ वी आर सॉल्विंग दिस क्वेश्चन, और ये क्वेश्चन भी बड़ा अच्छा क्वेश्चन है। बड़ा सिमरा, आपको मैंने ये वाला क्वेश्चन इस टाइप का लास्ट क्लास में करवाया हुआ है, एंड नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू अप्लाई इन दिस क्वेश्चन। द क्वेश्चन इज, बल्कि लेकिन ये क्वेश्चन मैंने उसवा को नहीं कराया। उसवा बेटा, आप मुझे बताएं, उसवा आप मुझे बताएं, इस क्वेश्चन में खास बात है, इफ अ बॉल striking on the wall with velocity 7, and when it rebounds its velocity reduces to 5, उसवा बेटा, what is change in velocity? 2। ठीक है ना, ये गलत होता है, सारे बच्चे गलत बताते हैं, सारे बच्चे गलत बताते हैं, उसवा आपने भी गलत बताया, ठीक है, गलत बताया, ठीक। अब सही क्या होता है, उसवा बेटा सीखना, when the ball is moving towards right hand side, then its velocity is positive, ठीक है ना। when the ball rebounds, its velocity direction reversed, on rebounding, direction of velocity reversed, now it is -5. And if I ask what is change in velocity, then you know final velocity, initial velocity, and this is their change. So change in velocity is -12. उसका बेटा change in velocity is -12. ठीक, and now we are solving this question. Sir, in this question, this is the mass of the ball, this is the velocity of the ball. The tennis ball hit the wall perpendicularly and rebound at the same speed. Rebound at the same speed. So अगर हम उसका आपका वाला आंसर मान लें, then the change in velocity is 0, ठीक है। और change in velocity is 0, then change in momentum is 0। बेटा उसमें देख लीजिए, any option is not 0। So remember, if there is ball rebounding, then after rebound velocity will be -5, okay beta, and we have to calculate change in momentum, and change in momentum is equals to mass into change in velocity. The mass of the ball is 0.06, the change in velocity, sir, -5 and -5, then beta usma what is the answer, 0.06 into -10, then it will be minus 0.6, -0.6। So the right answer is D। उसमें बेटा अब आपको ये बात समझ में आ गई, कभी भी रिबाउंड होगा तो रिबाउंड करने में ये वाला कॉन्सेप्ट यूज करेंगे आप, कि वेलोसिटीज जो होती हैं दे आर एडेड, velocities are added. In this question, striking velocity is 5, rebound velocity is 5, so the change is 5 plus 5, that is 10। ठीक है बेटा, उसमें इज इट क्लियर? ठीक है बेटा। अच्छा जी, उसके बाद एक और क्वेश्चन हम आपके साथ करना चाहते हैं आज की क्लास में, वो ये क्वेश्चन है, जरा देखिएगा, कोलिजन का ये क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं। इन द स्पोर्ट ऑफ कर्लिंग टू टीम्स ऑफ कर्लर्स, शुरू की स्टोरी को ठीक है जानेंगे। काम की बात क्या सर, काम की बात ये है कि स्टोन बी इज स्टेशनरी, दिस इज स्टोन बी एंड दिस इज स्टेशनरी, ठीक है जी। स्टोन ए मूविंग टूवर्ड्स द टारगेट एंड मेक्स अ हिट ऑन स्टोन बी, ठीक है जी, इससे आगे टकरा गया, दोनों का मास सेम है, चले ये भी अच्छी बात है, मास इज सेम। The collision is elastic. The collision is elastic. जी बेटा, Abdullah, do you know what is the meaning of elastic collision? Do you know the meaning of elastic collision? नहीं पता है. Simra, do you know what is the meaning of elastic collision? No. Okay. Usma beta, do you know what is the meaning of elastic collision? Yes, your answer is perfect. Okay. So now I am going to explain. I am going to explain, but Abdullah, listen. When two bodies make elastic collision, then in elastic collision, two conservation laws are applied. Two conservation laws are applied. One of them is law of conservation of momentum, and the second one is law of conservation of kinetic energy. In elastic collision, two laws are valid: law of conservation of momentum and law of conservation of kinetic energy. And in this question, it is also indicative question. Indicative question means no mathematical work we are going to show. Only we have to write English, and in this English, in this paragraph, you should explain what they are asking. So let's start the discussion. And what is the discussion? I am explaining first momentum, then I will explain kinetic energy. Let's start with momentum. As well as बेटा उसवा, आपने कल की क्लास में मुझे बताया था कि जब कभी मोमेंटम कंजर्व होता है तो कोई एक्सटर्नल फोर्स नहीं लगना चाहिए. ठीक है जनाब. तो इस क्वेश्चन में भी, और अगर आपने शायद ये गेम देखा हो, ठीक है ना, ये यूट्यूब पे और वीडियोस में हमें नज़र आ जाता है कि जिस सरफेस के ऊपर ये गेम खेल रहे होते हैं वो सरफेस बिल्कुल स्मूथ होती है. और जब बिल्कुल स्मूथ होती है, आइस के ऊपर खेल रहे होते हैं, आइस के ऊपर, तो आपको पता है आइस के ऊपर फ्रिक्शन ना होने के बराबर होती है. ठीक है जनाब. तो चलिए जनाब, मैं इसी बात को यहाँ लिखने के लिए जा रहा हूँ. आप लोग भी थोड़ा सा इसको कॉपी कीजिए. अच्छा, इसमें इन्होंने टर्म कहीं आइस का लफ्ज लिखा हुआ हो तो मेरे लिए आसानी हो जाएगी. जी लिखा हुआ है आइस. ठीक है बेटा, लिखा हुआ है आइस, तो मैंने ये लिखा ऑन आइस सरफेस फ्रिक्शन is negligible. So no external force acting during collision. मेरे पेन को पता नहीं क्या हो गया है. No external force is acting during collision. Thus, total momentum, total momentum before and after the collision remain same. Or momentum remains conserved. It is another wording of law of conservation of momentum. The first wording, which is simple, so total momentum before collision, total momentum after collision. The other wording, momentum is conserved during the collision. So it means that we have applied law of conservation of momentum. Okay. As well as I am giving you another extra knowledge, and extra knowledge is, if the masses are same, if the masses are same, when two bodies of equal masses make elastic collision, then they interchange their velocities. Sir, what is the meaning of interchange velocities? The meaning is stone B is at rest and stone A is in moving. But when they make elastic collision, then you will notice stone A will come to rest and stone B start motion with same velocity. If the masses are same, then in elastic collision, they interchange their velocities. So I will also have to write this sentence as masses are same, and the same wording is written in the marking scheme. Okay, ये मैं अपने पास से कोई कहानी नहीं सुना रहा भाई, ठीक है? As masses are same, so stone A will come to rest, will come to rest, and stone B starts motion with same velocity. So we have written law of conservation of momentum, and now the final sentence about kinetic energy. The total kinetic energy before and after collision will also be same. बेटा बनीन, आप इतनी देर से खामोश हैं, हम आपको जगाना चाहते हैं। बनीन, आप जाग रही हैं बेटा? बनीन बेटा, आप जाग रही हैं? बनीन, शी लेफ्ट। अच्छा, ये मैं क्या बताऊं बनीन का। अब्दुल्ला, आप तो जाग ही रहे हैं यार। अब्दुल्ला, आप ही दोबारा गौर से सुने। सर, इफ टू बॉडीज मेक इलास्टिक कोलिजन, then two conservation laws are applied. Number one, sir, momentum will remain conserved. Number two, kinetic energy will remain conserved. जी अब्दुल्ला, हमें बताइए इलास्टिक कोलिजन में कौन से दो लॉज वैलिड होते हैं? अब्दुल्ला। ठीक है, ठीक है, और इसी का जरा मैं अपोजिट भी सिखा दूं। क्वेश्चन खत्म हो चुका है, क्वेश्चन खत्म हो चुका है, ठीक है जी। एक एक्स्ट्रा बात बोलना चाह रहा हूँ। मनाइल, आपसे पूछूंगा ये वाली बात, गौर से सुनिएगा। हाँ, देयर इज अनदर कोलिजन विच इज कॉल्ड inelastic collision. In inelastic collision, the total momentum before and after collision is conserved, but kinetic energy is not conserved. ठीक है ना? Kinetic energy is not conserved. जी मनाहिल बेटा, what is inelastic collision? What is inelastic collision? Inelastic collision बेटा बताइए क्या होता है? The collision in which momentum is conserved but kinetic energy is not conserved. Simple. ठीक है बेटा? So this question we have completed, and ये this question is not about collision. ये मैंने लास्ट टाइम पढ़ाया था, न्यूटन लॉ वो था। अच्छा जी, नाउ दिस इज अ प्रोजेक्टाइल मोशन। इस प्रोजेक्टाइल मोशन के अंदर मुझे उस्मा से पूछना पड़ेगा। उस्मा, प्रोजेक्टाइल मोशन बेटा आपको आता है? अगर मैं क्वेश्चन कराऊं तो आप पिक कर लेंगी उस्मा बेटा? चलें ठीक है, चलें ठीक है। Now the projectile question for Simran and Abdullah. They have exam tomorrow in the morning, so they need practice of projectile motion as well. The question is बॉल को, ठीक है जनाब, हमने थ्रो करना है 50 मीटर अवे, ठीक है ना। द बॉल इज टू बी थ्रोन 50 मीटर अवे, सो 50 मीटर इज द हॉरिजेंटल डिस्टेंस, 50 मीटर इज द हॉरिजेंटल डिस्टेंस, ठीक है जनाब। जब आप लॉन्च कर रहे हो तो यू आर एक्सर्टिंग फोर्स 9 न्यूटन एंड एंगल इज 40 डिग्री, ठीक है। मुझे लग रहा है ये क्वेश्चन प्रोजेक्टाइल का है ही नहीं अब तो, क्योंकि इसमें कोई वेलोसिटी नहीं है, मुझे तो ये लग रहा है वेक्टर की तरफ लेके जा रहा है। 9 न्यूटन की फोर्स है एट 40 डिग्री टू दी हॉरिजेंटल, 40 डिग्री टू दी हॉरिजेंटल एट द टाइम ऑफ रिलीज। ड्रॉ अ वेक्टर डायग्राम to determine the resultant force acting on the ball at the time of release. Okay, and the weight of the ball is 2 Newton. Weight of the ball is 2 Newton. Sir, how do we solve this question? And this is a vector question. बेटा सिमरा, आपके पास ज्योमेट्री बॉक्स होगा क्या? आप पेंसिल, स्केल और प्रोटेक्टर आपके पास है? डू यू हैव प्रोटेक्टर, पेंसिल एंड रूलर? सिमरा, ठीक है, अगर ज्योमेट्री बॉक्स पे निकाल लें, रेडी करें ज्योमेट्री बॉक्स सो दैट वी कैन ड्रॉ। उसका बेटा आपके पास भी ज्योमेट्री बॉक्स है? ठीक है बेटा, बस ज्योमेट्री बॉक्स पर रेडी कर लें। जरा सुने, कंसीडर दिस इज हॉरिजेंटल लाइन एंड दिस हॉरिजेंटल लाइन इज अ रेफरेंस लाइन, जस्ट अ रेफरेंस लाइन, एंड नाउ यू कैन सी 9 न्यूटन फोर्स, 9 न्यूटन फोर्स is exerted by catapult, and this 9 Newton force is making 40-degree angle with the horizontal. So if I assume scale 1 centimeter is equal to 1 Newton, then obviously 9 Newton is equal to 9 centimeter. So the vector is 9 Newton, so I am going to draw 9 centimeter long line and consider it is the starting point. It is the starting point. Place protector at this point, and now draw a line of length 9 centimeter. The length of this line should be 9 centimeter, and this line must be at 40 degree. If you have a geometry box, then you should draw by scale diagram. It should be scale diagram. The ball is thrown by catapult force, that is 9 Newton. 9 Newton force is at 40 degree. So I have drawn a 9 centimeter long arrow. This 9 centimeter long arrow is at 40 degree, and there is a weight of the ball, that is 2 Newton. And you know, weight always act downward without any angle. You should draw a line of length 2 centimeter downward. 2 centimeter line vertically downward. It is very simple. And I have joined head of first vector to the tail of second vector. You know, head to tail rule? Head to tail rule is used to determine the resultant force. So 9 Newton force exerted by catapult and 2 Newton force is the weight force of gravity, weight of the ball. And now we have to determine the resultant force. What is the resultant force? The resultant force is this. This is the resultant force. And the resultant force, head with head and tail with tail, and I am changing its color to show this is the resultant. And now can anyone tell me what is the length of this purple line if you have drawn correct diagram? जी बेटा बनाइए, अगर आपने लाइन सही बनाई है तो हमें लाइन की लेंथ बताइए। उसके बाद बेटा अगर आपने लाइन सही बनाई है तो हमें लेंथ बताइए। व्हाट इज द लेंथ ऑफ द लाइन? What is the length of the line? जी बेटा, कोई बच्चा बताए मुझे। मार्किंग स्कीम कह रही है इट शुड बी बिटवीन 7.6 टू 8.0। इफ इट इज 8.6 तो आपकी बहुत ही बुरी डायग्राम है बेटा, फिर अब्दुल्ला। 7.6 से 8 के बिटवीन आ जाएगा आंसर। जी बेटा, किसी और बच्चे ने सही लाइन बनाई हो? अब्दुल्ला, हो सकता है आप प्रोटेक्टर से एंगल गलत बना रहे हो, तो कुछ भी हो सकता है। और जब तक आप हमें व्हाट्सएप पे पिक्चर नहीं दिखाएंगे तो बेटा हम आपकी गलती भी नहीं बता सकते। अगर आपने ड्राइंग बनाई है तो आप हमें उसकी पिक्चर व्हाट्सएप पे शेयर करें, सो दैट आई कैन चेक व्हाट इज योर मिस्टेक। उसके बाद बेटा आप हमें बता दें व्हाट इज द लेंथ ऑफ द लाइन। 7.8, भाई जबरदस्त हो गया जी। उसवा का 7.8 रिजल्ट आ गया है। सिमरा, तुम्हारा क्या आ रहा है? व्हाट इज द लेंथ ऑफ रिजल्टेंट उस सिमरा? अच्छा चले, बनाए बनाए। बनाइए, आप बताओ बेटा। It should be between 7.6 to 8.0. You are given a range. मनाहिल बेटा, आप क्लास में हो? मनाहिल है। बहुत अच्छा हो गया, विद इन रेंज आ गई आप भी, जबरदस्त हो गया। अब खाली सिमरा रह गई बेटा। सिमरा, आप हमें जल्दी से बताएं तो हम आगे जाएं बेटा। सिमरा। 7.8, सिमरा का 7.8, मनाहिल का 7.9। अब्दुल्ला भाई नहीं आ सके रेंज के अंदर। अब्दुल्ला भाई, फिर आप क्लास के बाद दोबारा बनाने की कोशिश कीजिएगा बेटा। एंड द आंसर शुड बी बिटवीन 7.6 टू 8। ठीक है। अच्छा जी, एक और बात भी इन्होंने ऑल दो की पूछी नहीं, बट कैन यू टेल मी व्हाट इज द एंगल विद हॉरिजेंटल? Angle with horizontal, they did not ask in the question, but in marking scheme they are showing the angle between 27 to 31 degree। उसका तुम्हारा बेटा एंगल कितना आ रहा है? कितना आ रहा है? 27 to 31। It should be between 27 to 31 with horizontal line ना, with horizontal line। It is called direction of resultant vector। ठीक है, बेहतरीन हो गया बेटा। डायरेक्शन ऑफ रिजल्टेंट, डायरेक्शन ऑफ रिजल्टेंट इज 27 डिग्री। ठीक है जी, नाउ वी आर मूविंग फॉरवर्ड। ओए होए होए, हमसे गलती हो गई, इसके ऊपर बनाना था। हमने तो ब्लैंक पेज के ऊपर बना लिया। ठीक है जी, हमने ब्लैंक पेज पे बना लिया है, लेकिन इन एग्जाम you are given this graph paper and it is easy to draw. It is more easy to draw because if you have a drawing paper, then you can draw easily horizontal line, and then the method is same again. You will draw a 9 centimeter line long length, 9 centimeter long line, then you will draw 2 centimeter long line, and then it will be the resultant and the length of resultant should be around 7.6 to 8. So this is 9 centimeter, this is 2 centimeter, and it should be between 7.6 to 8.0. And the angle of resultant is 27 degrees. And the total angle of 9 Newton is 40 degrees. Okay, we have drawn on the blank page, but we should have drawn on the graph paper. It is easier. And in this graph paper, you are given what is the angle. It means you have to write angle. You have to measure angle. ठीक है और मनाइल का 27 आया तो आई थिंक ऑल अदर स्टूडेंट also the same result. And now there is another question, question number 16. There is a suitcase is being dragged along the ground by the handle in the direction shown. Okay. Which of the following shows the direction of horizontal and vertical component of force acting on the ground? Acting on the ground due to the suitcase. Acting on the ground. Remember, you have to draw the force acting on the ground. You know, the force acting on the ground is the weight of the suitcase. Is the weight of suitcase. Okay, number one. Number two, on suitcase, this force, sorry, the suitcase is moving in this direction. And if the suitcase is moving in this direction, it is moving on towards right hand direction. So on the ground, this force. The suitcase is exerting two forces on the ground. The suitcase is exerting two forces on the ground. Suitcase exerting two forces on the ground. Weight downward, weight downward, and suitcase driving force on the ground. So the right answer is C. So the right answer is C. अच्छा बेटा option A is totally useless because weight always act downward. Weight always act downward. In this question, sir, C and D are sensible. In which weight acting downward, and friction on suitcase acting backward. Friction on suitcase acting backward, and its reaction on the ground, it is acting forward. So the answer according to the marking scheme is the C. हाँ बेटा उसवा सवाल समझ में आया सी ऑप्शन सही हो ना उसवा बेटा ठीक है बेटा and now this is another question and in this question I think it is a projectile motion question. I think let's start. In this question, this is I think it is a spider. Is it a spider? Yes, it is a spider. This is a spider. Okay, and we will not discuss the whole spider. The key point for this diagram is the cross. In the spider diagram, there is a cross, and I have filled this cross with red dots. I have filled this cross by red dots. Okay, and these all the photographs are taken at 0.0 second interval of time. So all the pictures, all the photographed are with the time interval of 0.02 second. There is no more or less time. All the pictures are taken at the same interval of time. I can say it is at 0 second, it is at 0.02 second, it is at 0.04 second, it is at 0.06 second, it is at 0.08 second. So these are times at which these photographs are taken. What is the question? The question is deduce whether the images show that the motion is x direction is independent of motion in the y direction. ठीक है, क्या मतलब? When we study projectile motion, you noted we solve every question along x-axis, then separately along y-axis, and this shows that in projectile motion, motion along x-axis is independent, motion along y-axis is independent. They have no connection. Only the time is same. Only the time is same. Otherwise, their motions are independent of each other. And now you can see, and in projectile motion, the horizontal velocity remains constant. And if the horizontal velocity remains constant, then you can see in x direction, you can check the length of this blue line, the length of this green line, the length of this red line, and the length of this blue line. These are horizontal distances. These are horizontal distances. Horizontal distance is equal to ux into time. You can see the time interval is same. For all picture, time is same. If time is same, then you can see the horizontal distances should be same for all interval of time. Why? Sir, because horizontal velocity is constant. If horizontal velocity is constant, then obviously distance between any two images in x direction must be same. Okay, so I am going to explain along x-axis. Along x-axis. So if I measure distances along x-axis, along x-axis distances covered all are same. All are same. Why same? Because horizontal velocity is constant, and if horizontal velocity is constant, the time interval is same. So you can say this horizontal line blue, this horizontal line green, this horizontal line, and I tried my best to draw the lines according to their movement. And I think in projectile motion, it is a rule, you should take measurement. Oh, you should take measurements using the cross marking the center of the gravity. आपको ये measurement भी लेना पड़ेंगे भाई, आपको ये measurement भी लेना पड़ेंगे. ठीक है, तो अगर आप if you have a printed page, then obviously you can measure the length of this line, then length of this line, then the length of this line, then the length of this line. Then you should write this sentence: measured lengths are same. Okay, indicative question is always difficult because in this question you do not have to apply any mathematical formula. You just have to explain. You just have to explain. So I have explained along x-axis. Sir, along x-axis, all the distances covered are same. Why? Because horizontal velocity is constant. And we have measured their lengths and their lengths are same. So it shows the horizontal distances are same. And now if I ask you to measure vertical distances, then I think this vertical distance and this vertical distance is not same. You can see this vertical distance is not same. This vertical distance is not same. Okay. So now I am working on y-axis. Along y-axis, along y-axis, along y-axis, distance distances between images varies between images varies as, या due to gravity, ड्यू टू ग्रेविटी, ठीक है ना। तो आप देख लीजिए वाई एक्सिस के ऊपर सारे डिस्टेंसेस इक्वल नहीं है, ये डिस्टेंस छोटा है, ये बड़ा है, ये फिर छोटा हो गया। तो डिस्टेंसेस आर नॉट इक्वल, डिस्टेंसेस, वर्टिकल डिस्टेंसेस along y axis varying, ठीक है जनाब। एंड व्हाट इज द कंक्लूजन? द कंक्लूजन इज they are asking deduce whether images show x direction is independent of y axis. So the answer is yes. Motion along x axis is independent. They have no connection. They have no connection independent of motion in y direction. So in this question, sir, no formula is applied. It is also indicative question. I am repeating and then Simra will explain me. सिमरा बेटा आप एक्सप्लेन करने की कोशिश कीजिएगा क्योंकि एग्जाम में आपने आंसर लिखना है बेटा। सर व्हेन स्पाइडर jumping, these photographed are at equal interval of time, but their vertical distances are different, but and horizontal distances are equal. Their vertical distances are different, their horizontal distances are equal. It shows that horizontal motion and vertical motion have no connection. Horizontal motion and vertical motion, they are independent. हाँ बेटा सिमरा, can you say something? हाँ हाँ जी। Yes, it shows that they have no connection. Okay. Okay. They are independent. Their motions are independent. Horizontal motion and vertical motion are independent during projectile motion. बेहतरीन हो गया जी, बेहतरीन हो गया। And now the question is, show that this is a mathematical question. Show that the initial velocity of a spider at the start of the jump is about 1 meter per second. We have to show. It means we have to calculate initial velocity, that is u, and it should be 1 meter per second. And you should take measurement. You should take measurement. Then how can I take measurement on the screen? So I should work on the marking scheme, and let me check what is the vertical distances or horizontal distances. Give me 1 minute. Sir, vertical vertical distances, vertical height they have measured, and it is 0.011. Okay. Vertical maximum height they have measured the vertical maximum height. Okay. They have measured maximum vertical height, and the maximum vertical height they have measured, and its value is 1.1 centimeter. And 1.1 is how small number. Okay, so this is the height, 1.1 centimeter. And if you convert into meter, then obviously you will divide by 100, then it becomes 0.011 meter. This is the height. This is the height. Okay, this is the height. And now I am calculating. So if I apply v square is equal to u square plus 2